It was mid-November. After almost a month of discovery and preparations, we finally started to rebuild. According to our initial plan, we should have been in the water by now, which in hindsight was a bit ambitious. Updated plan? Make it in 2 months. But to get there, we still had a lot to do. So it was on to quest number 7. Cut, mix, fiberglass, repeat. We had loads of fiberglassing to do, and the list of pieces we needed to cut was long. We divided our work into sections. First up was finishing up the engine support area, which we decided to beef up with an additional stringer. For each section, I mixed the epoxy and wet out the pre-cut pieces in a previously established sequence, while Bartek rolled them out in place and busted all the bubbles, making sure we end up with a strong air gap-free layup. By now, we were sure that our diesel engine was not coming back, but we left the supports as structural reinforcement, keeping the area stiffer. At this point, our days were quite monotonous, yet rewarding. We could finally see the progress as the browns and yellows on our floor slowly gave way to the pastel mints of fresh fiberglass. And then we would move on to the next section. We splurged a bit and got ourselves a proper pair of scissors. They cost us $80, but made our life way easier, and if I say so myself, they were worth every penny. Fortunately for us, a fellow cruiser in the marina, after hearing about our upcoming job, took pity on us and lent us his electric scissors as well. They helped immensely and made the job even easier. As the time-lapse of these next sections rolls, let me explain the importance of a good pair of scissors. The whole idea of fiberglass is that it reinforces the plastic matrix, in our case, epoxy. As the name suggests, it's made of glass fibers, so as you can imagine, it's not exactly easy to cut. In total, we had to cut somewhere around 90 yards of fiberglass into various sized pieces. According to Bartek's calculations, we had around 2.5 kilometers of cuts, so we needed sharp and durable tools to do it. If you suspect that perhaps I'm a bit psychotic using alternately imperial and metric systems, you just might be right. You see, both Bartek and I were born and raised in the superior metric system. There, I said it and I stand by it. But life brought us to Panama, which, though officially metric, in practice uses mostly imperial. Also, if you ever owned a boat that has been around, you know some parts are metric and some are not. So whether we wanted to or not, we needed to get a hang of it, and by now it became something of a split measurement system disorder. For example, don't ask me why, but I process boat lengths exclusively in feet, fiberglass rolls mostly in yards, and everything else in meters. I long for the day when the world decides to choose simplicity and efficiency of the metric system above the profit that using different ones generates. Don't get me wrong, I love diversity, but in case of measurements, I believe in one system to rule them all. By the way, could someone explain to me the fraction fetish, like 3/16? Seriously? Okay, rant over. Back to fiberglassing. We chose to use shorter pieces and overlap them with each other instead of the more ideal approach of using long ones that would cover the whole of the stringer. We did so because we didn't really have space to pre-wet bigger pieces. Handling them would also be a challenge, and we were working in 32 degrees Celsius with locally sourced epoxy, which came with only one flavor of hardener, and it most definitely was not a slow tropical one. The second stringer was done, and though it looks, I'm gonna go with organic, we knew it was now healthy and strong. We decided to replace the battery box we cut out with additional small stringers. When both main stringers and the additional small ones were fiberglassed in place, it was time to fiberglass the build box from the inside. After a solid week of work, we were finally done with the inside part. Before we could start fiberglassing the outside though, we needed to drill out the stern tube hole. And reopened the keel bolt holes so we wouldn't lose their position. Everything was looking strong, healthy, and clean. Did I say the inside job was done? Well, as we had some wood left, just for good measure, we decided to add 2 more little stringers next to the bilge box. But more about that next time.